Hello and welcome to The Social Connection, your weekly dose of social media updates and the latest news. Starting this week, we'll be revisiting everything that ruled 2014. I'm Preeti and with me is Shreya Upadhyay.
Yes, so in the next half an hour, we'll get you all that caught the attention of social networkers this week and all that did not. But first up, the headlines.
Hashtag Why Loiter campaign spreads across social media in India.
Terror unites India and Pakistan in the virtual world.
And see what Indians talked about on Facebook this year.
Well, let's get started. Women feel unsafe in many public spaces at almost all times of the day. Unlike men, women experience places differently and have to devise their own safety strategies to negotiate public spaces.
Yes, in the wake of series of harassment faced by women in public places, an online campaign hashtag Why Loiter has surfaced on social media sites in India. The campaign urges women to come out on the streets and stroll for their freedom and autonomy. Take a look.
Cutting across class and profession, women face continuous and different forms of sexual harassment in crowded as well as secluded places, including public transport, cars, markets, roads, public toilets and parks. Unlike men, women experience the city differently and have to devise their own safety strategies to negotiate public spaces during day and night. Responding to the increased victim blaming and the restrictions on women's mobility that takes place when a woman is sexually assaulted in public space, 5 Mumbai-based women launched the Why Loiter initiative, inviting women from across the country to reclaim public spaces for themselves and rally a revolution of gender and identity on the streets. The hashtag Why Loiter campaign asks women to hang out in the city, to make use of its public spaces, to loiter aimlessly, and to use the hashtag Why Loiter every time they do it. In a Facebook page, the organizers wrote that the idea is to create a sense of a community of women in public space so that they can remind themselves and other women that they are not alone. In this we include not just women but trans women and anyone who identifies as a woman. This was started on 16th December, the second anniversary of the horrific Delhi gang rape and murder that had thousands of people on the street in protest. The Facebook post also stated that the campaign is a 2-week campaign running from 16th December 2014 to 1st January 2015. The campaign has received wide support. Women are going out alone to beaches, parks and other public spaces typically thought to be safe only for men or groups of women, and posting descriptions of their experiences on social networking sites. Participants in the hashtag Why Loiter campaign are also demanding an end to the survivor bashing that seems to follow instances of sexual harassment. Well, next up, this week saw social networkers across the globe unite in the wake of terror attacks, proving once again that despite all fear and terror, humanity is still alive on Earth and they can come together in the time of crisis. Hashtag India with Pakistan, I'll Ride With You are just some of such examples.
Yes, Indians showed compassionate solidarity for their neighbouring country after the Peshawar massacre in which Taliban gunmen killed more than 140 students and teachers. Pakistanis too stood up for the protest against 2611 accused Lakhvi's bail with the hashtag #PakWithIndia, no to Lakhvi's bail. Take a look.
While Peshawar witnessed a rush of volunteers from across the country and the world, people from India took to Twitter to register their anger over the ghastly act and show solidarity with Pakistan. Millions of people turned to social media to express their shock following the tragic attack by the Taliban that left more than 130 Pakistani school children dead. On Twitter, India with Pakistan became one of the top trending hashtags, while 6 to 7 others related to the Peshawar attack trended on the microblogging website. Hashtag India with Pakistan trended for more than 4 days. Prime Minister Narendra Modi reached out to his Pakistani counterpart Nawaz Sharif in a phone call and also expressed his shock on Twitter. He also called for all school children to hold a 2-minute silence as a mark of solidarity. On the microblogging site, there were thousands of messages from Indian parents for the families of the victims in Pakistan. A terrible moment in the history of humanity. One Indian parent wrote in a letter addressed to Pakistan with an appeal to come together at the time of grief. After Indians extended their support to Pakistan through the hashtag India with Pakistan on Twitter, Pakistan began the hashtag PakWithIndia, no to Lakhvi bail to join India in its protest against the bail granted to 2611 accused Lakhvi. In the meantime, Australia's response to the Sydney hostage crisis was as magnificent as it could get. Citizens came together to declare their solidarity with Muslims after reports emerged that a veiled woman received abuse on public transport in Sydney. After Twitter user Sir Tissa started hashtag I'll ride with you, it trended globally with over 65,000 tweets in just 3 hours. Apart from Twitter and Facebook, other social media were also abuzz with comments from every section condemning the barbaric attack. Comments on social media also highlighted the common grief shared across the border, irrespective of the present political situation.
Well, we are heading for a short commercial break. Stay tuned to see how the hashtag evolved and the top trends of this week.
Welcome back. Hashtags have become a norm nowadays, and a post without it seems incomplete. The iconic pound sign has come a long way from its first usage in 2007. So in the next few minutes, we'll take you through the history of hashtag and its very interesting journey on social media sites. Take a look.
Twitter's head of news Vivian Schiller recently called hashtags arcane and hinted that they might be on their way out. Even though this has not been confirmed, it shocked quite a few users, as the social network is largely responsible for turning the hashtag into a household term. For many, the success of hashtags can be seen while connecting users based on common topics. This by far has been one of Twitter's biggest strengths. The iconic symbol was first proposed to be used for Twitter in August 2007. Ironically, it was suggested by a man who was not even a member of the company, Chris Messina. Messina pitched the pound sign to guide conversations into groups. It was a new concept and had very few takers. Most people didn't believe it would ever catch on. Even Twitter's co-founders Ev Williams and Biz Stone didn't like the idea. After all, how would have a simple pound sign helped? A while later, in October 2007, hashtag San Diego fire caught on the microblogging site when Nate Ritter broke the news using the hashtag. The incident brought the symbol into limelight. However, it was not before July 2009 that Twitter officially embraced the sign by automatically linking anything that succeeded it. Several other social networking websites joined the hashtag brigade, with Instagram leading the pack in January 2011. By then, the character had emerged as the rising icon. Audi fueled its usage further when it premiered its first Super Bowl commercial with the hashtag ProgressSells. The ad was designed specifically for the game, but the car company used the hashtag for its promotion for most of 2011. Audi's senior social media manager, Andy White, noted that while YouTube played an important role for the company, Twitter served as the best tool to reach out to people and respond in real time. However, the biggest turnaround came when Twitter became synonymous with the Arab Spring in the springs of 2011. Hashtag Bahrain came to be one of the most used hashtags of all times. Being able to share an immense amount of uncensored information throughout social networking sites contributed to the cause of many Arab Spring activists. In countries like Egypt, Tunisia and Yemen, protests were organized through Twitter and Facebook by quickly disseminating information to various groups. The figure became familiar in usage and was beginning to be used on a large scale globally. In the same year, Google Plus began linking its posts through hashtags in October. By then, the symbol had become so popular that Twitter aired its first TV commercial highlighting it. Its popularity reached greater heights in 2013. Video sharing site Vine launched its hashtag support, and Super Bowl used its successfully tried and tested formula, a hashtag, in half of its advertisements. This was followed by a series of hashtag adoptions by social media platforms like Flickr, iOS app, and Facebook.
Hashtag classic. By the way, did you catch last week's episode of Duck Dynasty? Hashtag quack quack.
Nah, lately I've mostly been watching Netflix.
The famous Jimmy Fallon and Justin Timberlake spoofs on the overuse of hashtags stole the show in September, and finally in November last year, Twitter in its IPO proved the power of the hashtag. Whether or not the hashtag is being phased out by the network itself, users clearly still appreciate its value. It is more likely to evolve alongside social media as it has now over the last 5 years. For now, the icon is telling stories of the big moment in history, and we are all happy to be part of it.
From Amir Anushka starrer PK to the Sony cyber attack and Oscar nominations, here's a wrap of this week's top trends on Twitter and Facebook. How will you describe the outgoing year 2014 and that too in 5 words? Well, Twitterati showed the world exactly how. Hashtag 2014 in 5 words top Twitter trends chart. The themes ranged from news to entertainment to personal triumphs and tragedies. Here are few of them. Dehradun twin sister Tashi and Nungshi Malik created history by becoming the first ever siblings to scale 7 tallest peak in 7 continents. The Malik sisters were praised all over the social media forums and that made them one of the top trends on Facebook. The list of contenders for Best Foreign Film got a bit smaller as the Academy of Motion Pictures, Arts and Sciences announced the 9 features that will advance to the next round of voting. This made Oscars one of the top trends on Twitter. The Sony cyber attack issue reached another level as Sony Entertainment CEO denied that the studio had caved by scrapping next week's opening of the movie The Interview. This and much more made Sony climb up the trends chart on Facebook. Rohit Sharma's lack of form in the 4th test against Australia has drawn flack on social media. People took to Twitter to express their views on the cricketer's poor performance. This made Rohit Sharma climb the Twitter trends chart. The much-awaited Amir Anushka starrer PK made it to the big screen this week and social media was flooded with views and reviews of the movie. With this, the flick and Amir Khan made it to the top Facebook trends chart. Search at Facebook is a long-term effort, but the social media biggie has taken a step towards helping you tap into experiences and perspective of your friends and family.
Yes, and moving in this direction, Facebook is adding ability to search for keywords contained within posts, photos, articles and videos that were shared with you.
Want to remember the song that your friend posted on your Facebook page a couple of months ago? Do not worry, as Facebook's latest search update just made it easier to do that. The update allows you to use the search bar to find posts, photos or videos that were shared with you in the past. The new feature was designed specifically for mobile users who make up 703 million of the social network's 864 million daily active users. Facebook's semantic graph search feature, like the ability to search the phrases like my friends that work at Facebook and photos of my friends, has not changed, and the latest post search feature is an add-on to it. Facebook's VP of Search, Tom Stocky, said that with a quick search you can get back to a fun video from your graduation, a news article you have been meaning to read, or photos from your friend's wedding last summer. Previously, typing Goa into Facebook's search box would only yield pages and apps related to Goa. But now the search results page will also display all the posts you have previously viewed that contain the word Goa. The company added that searching the old posts was the most important thing to users who have tested graph search. After all, not being able to find a post that your friend posted a few days ago can prove frustrating, isn't it? The search results are personalized for each user, so you can only search for those posts on Facebook that have been shared with you. Also, search results are not displayed in chronological order, so you may need to scroll down a bit to find the posts you are looking for. But you can tweak the types of results that appear by specifying whether you want to search posts, group events, pages, photos or apps. The new search feature is out for iPhone and desktop users of the social network.
Well, it's time to see all the feedback that you sent in on Twitter, Facebook and YouTube. Well, now it's time to move on to our Hindi section for all the Hindi enthusiasts.
सोशल मीडिया की तमाम हलचलों के बीच साल 2014 विदा लेने वाला है। सर्च इंजन के शहंशाह गूगल में 2014 की रोशनी में कौन छाया रहा और कौन बरकरार रहा, इसकी रिपोर्ट है हमारे पास। इस साल कई नए चेहरे सामने आए तो कुछ पुराने चेहरों ने भी अपने पकड़ बनाए रखी। एक झलक।
गूगल इंडिया 2014 के आंकड़ों में जो चीज सबसे ज्यादा सर्च की गई वो IRCTC है। पिछले साल भी IRCTC ही पहले पायदान पर कायम थी। टेक डिवाइस में मोटोरोला का मोबाइल मोटो G, आईफोन और गैलेक्सी को पीछे छोड़ते हुए पहले पायदान पर छाया रहा। वहीं शख्सियत के मामले में 3 साल से लगातार सनी लियोनी को सबसे ज्यादा सर्च किया गया। टॉप 10 शख्सियतों में एक्टर और एक्ट्रेस का ही कब्जा रहा, लेकिन इनके बीच क्रिकेटर विराट कोहली 10वें नंबर पर अपनी जगह बनाने में सफल रहे। देश भर में जिसे सबसे ज्यादा सर्च किया गया वो IRCTC है। इसके बाद शॉपिंग साइट फ्लिपकार्ट दूसरे स्थान पर, SBI ऑनलाइन तीसरे स्थान पर, स्नैपडील चौथे और PNR स्टेटस 5वें स्थान पर रहा। गूगल ट्रेंडिंग सर्च में सबसे ज्यादा चुनाव 2014 छाया रहा। दूसरे स्थान पर FIFA 2014, तीसरे पर iPhone 6। बॉलीवुड की फिल्मों में पहले पायदान पर सनी लियोनी की रागिनी MMS रही। बॉलीवुड हीरो में सलमान खान पहले, शाहरुख खान दूसरे और अक्षय कुमार तीसरे स्थान पर रहे। वहीं हीरोइनों में कटरीना कैफ सबसे आगे रही, उसके बाद दीपिका पादुकोण और आलिया भट्ट छाई रही। गूगल की ताज़ा रिपोर्ट से भारतीय लोगों की तकनीक को लेकर जागरूकता का अंदाजा लगाया जा सकता है और यह भी साफ साफ पता चलता है कि लोग ऑनलाइन शॉपिंग को तेजी से अपना रहे हैं।
Well, really, Google India had some interesting searches there.
Yes, well, this is the end of our show. Continue sending your feedback, comments on ddnews.com@gmail.com or on our Twitter handle DD News Live, our Facebook page or on our YouTube channel.
Yes, but before we log off, carrying forward the Indo-Pak solidarity this week, here's an interesting search off the net. We'll see you next week. Thank you and goodbye.
And when it's really quiet inside me, I can hear you as well as I hear myself. It is sad that the wall fills up our vision completely. We don't notice the mirror hanging on it that shows what we truly are, Iqbal Bhai. A reflection of each other. We have similar homes, similar lives, similar worries, and we are similar in so many ways. Just that it has been 67 years since a family became 2 homes, brothers became strangers, and we became you and me. What's more saddening is, in all these years there have been times when a door of hope opened, but the wind changed direction to shut it again. I'm writing this letter to you today because doors are attached to walls, Iqbal Bhai, and the only true open door is the lack of a wall. I pray this letter goes over the wall and finds you, a person like me who believes our future need not be our past repeating itself. A person like me who believes right now can be the beginning of a world where conflicts are resolved with words and not weapons. A person like me who wants what I want too. Quiet days at home, with no worries except who will win the cricket match between us. You or me. It has taken 67 years for this letter to be written because I didn't know what address to post it at. But Iqbal Bhai, if you're watching this, then I know this letter has reached its address. And if you too pause to think and write back, then every word of yours will help in breaking a very old brick on a very old wall. Your friend, your neighbor.
Where was I?